Critique City. I'm gonna start way over here. Gotta close this guy. Okay, so starting with dev. This song's sick. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, sorry. I just saw something amazing. Amazing. Whoa, whoa, things are going crazy. Okay, back to the Discord. Okay, so we got Dev here, working on a torn version. This is a Marvelous designer. Simulation looks good here, tearing it up a bit. That looks good. Yeah, so you've just cut shapes, and yeah, this looks pretty nice. Is the red where blood is supposed to be? I assume that that's just temporary textures. Just make sure that when you get to it, that those colors are feeling nice. Blood-soaked fabric is quite dark. Oh, I'm gonna open this last one too, because it's got some relevance. Oh god, I'm gonna vomit. Yeah, this looks pretty cool. The way that this one is torn is definitely better than this. I think that this one still feels really stiff. So this simulation you're doing it's gonna have really good payoff. Oh, it's the alpha where the red is. Okay. Yeah, that should be fine. I mean, this is going to look really good because the tension lines are all there. These guys, these ones here, man, I don't have a color that will show very well. These tension lines and how it like narrows out, and then you've got these like the wiggles going on. This is really good. Don't decimate it down too much. Don't make it too low poly, because you can get away with it, I think. Just make it look good. It's pretty awesome. That's gonna look really good on here. I really would like to see how this is connected. Like, I don't know if there's like a bolt here, double bolts, if there's like a bracket behind, something, you know, maybe some things like this to help explain how this is attached. Don't keep it too high, but I mean, give it the geometry that it needs to sell the shapes that you've created, because it looks really cool. All right, so now we got Corey's scene, or his asset. I think this is the only one he posted. Let me double check. So yeah, when it comes to building the high poly, I mean, remember that like I'm noticing that one side is slightly different from the other. Like if we cut here, let's see. So if we cut here, you could just mirror this whole side here, right? You could just mirror it over here, and then just add the cuts here to bevel inward, and then call it good. It's 9:11. We've got this many. Every time I look at the clock, it's 9:11. It's so weird. We got time. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you some things. We go into Moto. This should not be any different from what you are doing. What's Moto doing? It's like, is it gonna start? What's going on here? Copen, again, thank you. I just saw the pop-up on my screen confirming what happened. What has happened to me. So let's do this. So I wonder if I can click this guy too. pin that off. Yeah, so you can just take a cylinder or a sphere, right? Let's just cap that. We'll just shrink it. So you can do stuff like this. Because you don't have to cap it, because you could. What you could do is delete this cap. You could delete this, and then make sure these are in the same container. What? What is this bridging madness? Oh, that's... Thanks. Thanks. We're gonna do this the slow way. Oh, what am I doing? I need my Zen. Yes. So what you can start doing is you can hit tab whenever you need to. I'm actually going to delete that. Oh, it's like, no, don't do that. Fucking fine. Can I? No, I can't. All right, I'm just going to power through this. I think there's a quad button that'll just remove these, but I don't have time to like look for it. I just want to show you some stuff really quickly. So when you have it smoothing like this, you can just start selecting things and adding loops. You can slide those around. Where you're connecting those will help you tighten up the edge that you're looking for. You can see like this backside is kind of crazy. If I go back to this, you can see it's an n-gon, right? So it's just gonna do that. If you inset, you can start to negate some of that problem, and then if you add another loop on the if you add another loop on the outside here, you can help negate it even better. And you don't worry about the fact that this is like an n-gon. As long as when it's smoothing, it looks okay. Let's give it a material with a better specular. There we go. So you can see what's happening. Oh yeah, yeah. This is gonna be the tries on top is gonna be a problem for sure. Oops, because I didn't rotate the sphere. You want this cap thing, you want this to be out here. It's just easier to deal with flow-wise, all that stuff. Speed will do that to you. So if you wanted to do your inset here, you can add a edge like this, and then if you bevel that edge, it extends it. And then you can grab like these guys and extrude them. Let's say you extrude them inward. Now you have that, and when you hit tab, you can see you need to add those support loops again. Whoa, hang on here. So support loops are going to look like this. If you need even support loops, you can just double these up. And then, oh, they need to symmetry. So you can start tightening those edges up. If you need to, you just move them closer to the edge, and you can tighten it up even further. And you can see like adding those loops, what it's doing to the asset. Oh man. But yeah, so you get the idea of like how I'm connecting those pieces. Now, if I needed to do that on the other side, I can just split this here, and then you just run a symmetry, delete this. I'll turn the smoothing off, and we'll just run a symmetry there. Oh, I didn't weld it, but if you weld it, then you can move this guy. Like I was saying, it could be off center, so you could bevel this one. And then invert, and do this, push that in. Do that. So there's your support loops. Some more support loops. I'm just kind of eyeballing this, but so see, you get these nice curved edges, and this is the high poly, right? This is that high poly look that you're going for. But when everything is so smooth and looks nice, it just feels good. The other thing is, because I've connected this sphere the way that I did, this, I guess this will be the center point. You can let's do this. This is actually taking up a bit of time, guys. I'm sorry. It's good to see the process, though. So when I hit tab on this guy, you can see the shape that he gets. So we'll just add some loops. That. So and then these edges, I'm just gonna bevel them. Whoa, we don't want that. Like that, right? So I beveled those just enough so that they do that, and then we'll take these guys and we'll inset them a little bit so that you get another support. Oh, those don't look like. See, this edge is probably too tight, so we just scale these in a little bit more. I mean, this might be a little too tight for how small the shape is. So you can put that. Let's say we put that here. So and I really like having, just for the bakes, having a normal kind of curve at the where it's meeting the object that it's screwed into. Let's turn wireframe on again. Okay, so let's take this. We'll center it up kind of with that. There we go. Yeah, right there. And then we'll do a radial. There we go. So I'm doing a radial duplicate copy. We'll just turn those up. Now we've got all these guys, and you can just doof. And then when you turn your, I don't know what this is going to do this stream, but hooray! Makes it look like magic all over again. My God. But yeah, there's like those details and how how you get them, how you make the bevels nice. Like these, I feel like these bevels are too tight, which is a shame, but I was going kind of fast. It seems you need a PhD to bake a moto. Anyways, okay, let's continue on with the other stuff. Let's look at some other work. Hopefully that helps you, Corey. Oh yeah, and I'll show you guys this just because people always ask about it. So if I take this guy and scale him up, right, and then move him into this piece like that. This is going to be kind of a complex one. I don't expect it to do very well with this, actually. So we put that there. So you can see these guys are just penetrating into the mesh. We'll go back to the default UI so you can see what I'm doing, which is here. Okay, so these guys are just penetrating in the mesh. If I go full and you see the render, you can see there's a hard edge there. Everything's what it is. Let's go ahead and go to the material. And if you go to the material and you go, pull this up so you can see, go down here, there's a round edge width, and you can just start turning this up. So let's do a full, and you can see the edge there. When I start turning this up, it just does like it attempts to do a bevel on that. You can see everything kind of looks like it's connected. Oh, so helpful. So helpful. So from back here, we can take that and then do like a, where are we at here? Where you at, Zen? There you is. There you is. Magic. Yeah, I really like that in ZBrush you can Dynamesh those together. Anyways, let us move on. This is like the most terrifying like grenade round you've ever seen. Cool. My God. Okay. Onward. Whoops. Where are we at here? There he is. All right, so this one, let me scroll up here so I'm looking at the right stuff. This one's from Freezy Demon. Looks like you're going off some. So this is reference. Is this yours as well? Oh yeah. Am I really? Is it? Composition mood. Mixed with model materials. So wait, am I reading this correctly? Work in progress in the environment I'm currently working on. Want to know if proportions and composition look good as they are right now. So I mean, let me do this. I think so. I think these could probably be. I need my Wacom. What did Bob Arian say? Yeah, the problem with Dynamesh is it's so destructive in that sense. R8 though is going to fix that. Going to be sick. So the width here and the width here are pretty close. I think it's this angle, and it might be the FOV of the camera, but I feel like this needs to be higher, which means that this doorway just needs to be a bit higher as well. And then you put your little window there. Other than that, I think this might be a little wide versus this. Everything looks pretty solid though. This is all obviously wider than this one. Like the top shape is different from yours, but you might be taking some liberties there, so that's pretty minimal. This looks like it might be a little small. Detail wise, like these little guys feel like they're sticking out a little bit further, and yours are quite close. I really like the fence stuff you got going on in the back. I'm curious how you're going to close it off. Like, do you have ideas for like how you want to surround? Because with all this space over here, I mean, maybe it won't be too bad once you get nice and close. You can probably duplicate your graves and rotate them around and stuff and just kind of frame around it with other graves. Get away with a lot of stuff that way. And there's nothing wrong with grabbing trees that are already in Unreal and just placing those to get some foliage behind your buildings. If it wasn't okay to use them, they wouldn't have put them there. You're not making any money off of it. You're just trying to build a strong composition. The only other thing I would say is getting some more contrast on your moon when you get to that point. And then bringing in some fog. But I mean, proportion-wise, other than what I've mentioned, it seems like it's doing pretty well. You're going to add the foliage at the sides? Cool. Yeah, this is coming along nicely. Let's see if there's anything else that's sticking out to me. I don't see anything that's absurdly horrible or anything like that. This looks cool. I'm excited to see some updates on that. It should be good. All right. It's fucking sick, man. You know who would... have you posted this anywhere online or anything like that? This is fucking crazy, man. So this is Ilya Ivanov. .3D concept art. I think 3D concept art is getting bigger, Sim. I think it's going to continue to get bigger. Mainly because, I mean, even today, Matt showed me a concept art that was actually like, it was a concept artist making concept art of a spaceship. But the spaceship was made in Modo and rendered in Modo. The only thing that was concept was stuff in the background. Ivanov, like that. How do you? Am I saying it right now? Ivanov. I don't know, man. I apologize. I know Ilya though. I have an Ilya friend. I'll just continue talking about how badass your work is because I'm terrible with names. This looks pretty sick. I would suggest you need some. You're getting a little bit of it. You've got some Ivanov. Nope, it's not going to happen. Text fails me. So this color is like a cooler kind of, there's a little bit of purple in there. The little details of the rocks here, these rocks actually feel like, not a problem. I hope not, man. I apologize. The little rocks on the bottom here, let me make sure you can see that on the stream. Yeah, cool. So the little rocks on the bottom here feel like they're in a different lighting scenario from the rest. Maybe it's just like light map UVs are really small, or because they're in shadow. Make sure the rock color of these is the same as the stone around it. That might be what's probably causing it. Let's see what else we got going on here. The detail on these pillars is fucking sick. It looks really good. And I'm glad that you didn't crush the geometry to get it low poly, because like all that detail, like you're getting this, you know, this is all sticking out and curving and stuff. So I guess if I had to say anything about this image so far, it's just element separation. Like, let's do this. So if you can get some, let's see if I can do this right. Oh. So let's start with these flags. So if we can get some shadow behind here. Oh man, why can't I? There we go. Obviously, it wouldn't be down there. Just to get those to separate out, that's going to help a ton. Do it on this side too. And then obviously behind the guy, if you can get something back there. This is probably where you're going to notice the most. This is really hacked together as well, so apologies. But you get the idea. It can be really subtle too, like see, just to get them to get those shapes to pop. Yeah, the fire's in his hands, definitely. But yeah. Anyways, cool. Now you can see the difference too. Like, just getting those to, it's quite a hack job, if I do say so myself. But getting those elements to separate is gonna really help you in selling that look. Can you do something to add shadows like that in Engine? Yeah, I mean, just getting these light sources to cast shadows and then seeing if you can work with it that way. If not, you can do another UV set and just start like airbrush softly behind the characters to just get that separation. That'll work as well. This looks sick though. Super, super nice. So this is Axel, some progress on the Star Citizen corridor I'm making. So definitely going down the modular route. Spacing looks pretty good. The floor feels like it might be a little shallow here. Or a little deep. That's quite the drop. Get a character in there for scale just so you can understand like how much of a step that is, because it feels like quite large for me. Yeah, Jopi, you could do that with the decal possibly. Projected shadows and stuff like that as well. You could do it in another UV set and just have a blob texture that you move UVs over to move blobs of like faked shadows onto the mesh. Whatever works to get it to look right. Other than that, I think this looks pretty good. I wouldn't add too much other details because everything in Star Citizen gets decaled on. Like quite a bit of their stuff is just floating bolts and little shapes and nozzles and all these little lights and buttons and stuff. You can probably get most of that in your scene with little cards that you're placing everywhere. Whoa, is it sticking out that far in the concept? This part here? Master decals for this? Awesome. Yeah, this depth here, is it like that in the other one? I like how these are tilted out. That's really cool. Definitely pay attention to the floor when you get to that point, and make sure that it's got detail, but it's not like, usually the detail on the floor you don't want to have too recessed, or else it ends up being high frequency detail because the noise is so strong. Yigal, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so like when shapes get deeper into a surface, they tend to cast darker shadows, right? So like you can see here, it's pretty dark here. It gets dark here. These shapes, like because of how far that goes down, that'll get pretty dark. That's a lot of depth perceived detail. And as you add lots of details on here, adding that depth perceived detail makes the whole image really busy, which is really hard on the eyes. So if you do end up adding a lot of details to the ground, just make sure that they're not that deep, right? By not making them that deep, it still gives off an area for the eye to rest on, which is awesome because it allows you to do a ton of detail without like it smashing you in the face with all of its detail love. You have a link for me? Give me the link. Ha! What is this? Nice. Where are we at? I gotta keep going through this stuff. I don't think I can wait for you, Jopie. I need to keep going. You scroll up here. Killian, for le critique stream. Le critique. I just wanted to know if there's anything that everything is looking okay. I'm looking. I need to have this finished soon. I want to have it looking good. Oh man, I'm a tech artist. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at that later. But that probably answers the floating decal stuff quite well. I would say that that detail, like the size of those, should be okay. It will probably need some parallax or something to help sell how large those shapes are, or a displacement even. In general, though, this looks pretty solid. Let's keep going through it. So the flow, you've got the flow working really nicely now. Like you've softened up these edges, so even though it is like the top part here is still kind of confusing because it's doing this. This side's okay. I think if you followed this pattern throughout, like if you took this and instead of letting those lines go that way, you built them this way, it'll sell itself because that's all the same direction of rock formation, right? And then you see you've got these ones going this way and these ones going this way. If these ones more so went in line with these, then you'll be in a better spot as well. So probably, let's see, so adjusting those like that. As far as the shapes here go, this is all really cool because it's like when I emphasize these lines, you can see it's all leading you this way. And you look here as well. So you're looking here, you've got light shining on here. You have a nice edge light that goes across this way. You have nice edge highlighting on this. This, that's a donut? Donut. Yeah. In general, it's looking really good though. I'm curious as to what is above here. Like I'm expecting maybe like some like grassy stuff on the edges and maybe some stuff hanging down, because that will really add to your doing stuff like this. Delicious. But yeah, this is looking really good. Double check your roughness as you continue to go through this when you're polishing it and stuff. Just see if you can get some nice, like, I don't know, if you can get kind of like that wet damp feel where maybe there's like little spots where it's really shiny or wet. I think it'll look really good. Later, Nathan. Anyways, onward. Yeah, this looks cool. This moss normal is really cool. It's like it's clumpy. Where those, dude? You should really look at doing some displacement and see how it looks, just out of curiosity. I think it could be really cool. Looks like the music stopped. Nope. Oh, it's starting to play its own stuff. Let's see how this goes. In general, this looks pretty sick though. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I would look at maybe getting a little bit of that dirt to come up on the side here. And with the moss being here, it just is natural that there should be like plants and grass and stuff growing down here. If you don't want that, I would suggest pushing the moss away from the ground and having the moss just more around the opening up here, and then just avoiding it down here. I don't know. Maybe you can get away with a couple plants on the ground and then you'll be good. All right, this one is by Spockside. So this looks super cool. Love this angle. This is a really cool image. Let's go ahead and first things first is your image is insanely dark. Like I hope people listen to me when I say stuff like that. I'm gonna show you. So if you double click a layer, you put a color behind it, and then you just start grabbing these ranges, you can see where things are overly bright by dragging this layer around. If you drag this bottom one, you can see basically where it's green like this, there's actually no information. It's completely black. So like getting some like bounce light in here or turning up the bounce just a little bit is gonna really push this scene. Like it's so dark that I don't think I can push that. Let me see. What I'll do is duplicate the layer. We'll push the brightness in those corners. We'll desaturate it a little bit, and then add a mask, invert the mask, and then we'll just paint in where, oh man. Let me see what's going on here. Yeah, look at, so when I turn that up, you see that highlight that's happening on the pillar? So interesting to see. And it gives you more spatial understanding of like what you're looking at. What's back here? Yeah, it's so much more engaging. Obviously you don't want it to be blooming this much, but I had to push it to get it to go there. So going from that to even that is much better. But I really want to see, what's happening on these walls. But yeah, it's looking cool. This is a really strong scene. And see, when I brightened it up as well, you're getting highlights from the doorway onto the character. I would even suggest putting a light here. Whoops. I would suggest putting a light here that is unaffecting, that isn't affecting everything, and shine it directly at this guy so that you can get some like nice. Let's just grab this color. So you can get this nice highlight along the, like especially highlighting the hand. Oh, that'd be so sick. Yeah, it'd be super cool. Oops. So you get that highlighting going on. Black Photoshop magic. Anyways, this scene looks really cool. I love the details that are going on in it. The roughness breakup on the ground is really nice. Really, really nice. These candles could possibly be just a little bit brighter as far as how much of the light is emitting brightness onto the, like maybe onto the ground a little bit of the glow. The flames themselves don't really need to be any brighter. But yeah. Using the dodge tool. I don't want to use the dodge tool. That's destructive. Yeah, this scene's sick, though. I'm excited to see some more. Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. This scene looks cool, man. I would love to see some varied... so out here, you can't see anything, right? Which is fine. Not seeing anything out there is okay. Getting some color breakup for the light coming in is going to help immensely. Because right now, everything is very warm. And in the shadows, I see you've added a bit of blue or a little bit of a purple. And then this is super warm. And then this is more of like almost a white light. If you could get some variety in the color that's coming in from out there through like a cube map or something, it's going to look so much more natural because you're going to get like color spilling in from outside that's just kind of all over. A little bit of blue from the sky. You've got maybe like the sun is coming in. Because like the blue here, in reality, that would be coming from the sky bounce, right? Not instead of the direct sunlight. I think you get that, and you're gonna each of your pillars are gonna look slightly different in color, and then it's gonna be ace. This thing looks sick, man. All right, this is by SV VAT. Space Door. Oh, we gotta, oh yes. All right. So right off the bat, the roughness on most of the metal is really, is not as reflective as I'm expecting it to be. Like, it's good that the little details here are reflective, but I expect the paint to be a different type of, like, a sheen, right? This feels really low res. You could probably, if you really wanted to, just make that a card. Like, actually make that geometry with that color, and then add all the geo that you need to make the edge look nice and clean. If you're going for paint with chipping and stuff like that, I would suggest... maybe getting a texture that you can tile and then UV strip along that to get your UVs to follow this edge and then go along that paint strip to get it to look right. Oh, no problem, Ilya. Thanks for submitting your stuff. The things I really like about this is that glass. Like, I love how you've dirtied up the edge. Oh man, it's dual layer too. It's got double panel. So like you can see the dual layer and when that sheen goes around. Oh, that's sick. But yeah, right now it feels like it's just suffering from being low res in texture. This area looks pretty nice. Your bevels might be a little small in your bake, but that is a nice clean bake, so job well done. Yeah, this is cool. This is really cool. I'd be weary of making these so dark. They look good in the shine here. It's just when they're in shadow, they're really dark. I understand why you made them dark though. It's metal, right? Anyways, really cool. Really, really cool. Yeah, see, it looks higher res here. I guess it's just the... Is it... whoops. Yeah, I'm in HD as well. Okay. So it's just the way this is being rendered. How do I know they're baked? Oh shit, I don't. I don't know they're baked. They might just be forced normals. Oops, shadeless. Oh shit, it's beveled. So sick. In all honesty, you can get away with this now in games. I would suggest making them wider if you're going to be paying for that geometry. And now that I'm looking at it in wireframe, there's a lot of resolution that you're using that you don't need to be. Like all this geo here could be just flat. This whole thing could be a flat thing. Yeah, the reason I thought it was baked is because looking at the normals, his normals match quite closely with his, where is it at here? His normals match quite closely with his bevels. That would explain why they're not aliasing though. Those bevels probably need to be about twice as wide, and you'd be good. And then when you're beveling that, you're beveling this as well? Let me see here. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's sick though. I like it. I like it. Okay, so this one. This one's from Kai Arzon. Kai Arzon. I can't even say it, man. Your skull looks really good, by the way, Crassy. I look forward to seeing more from you. That's how you can prove that it was you for the doubters, the naysayers. Yeah, be careful with the bevels, of course. You need to finish this in less than 2 weeks. Let's see here. Okay, so. Oh, that's awesome. That's an awesome brush. You're more of a technical. Oh, look at that. Oh, so sick. Really cool. Zorro. I'm Zorro. Okay, so if I had to look at this image, I would say get it textured up. That's the first thing. Get textures on this, and then you need to focus on this is the ref. Okay. Oh, wow. All right, so there's this upper area here. Hang on here. It's almost time for me to go, guys. This is the last piece I'll be looking at. Instagram. Those triangle pieces on top are pretty cool. I've actually, I went to a place that had those in real life. I'm trying to find it. It was the Spanish synagogue in Prague. I think it was Prague that I was in. Yeah, Prague. Okay. So, dude, it's crazy. Let me see if I can find a good image of it. This song is getting a little hectic. This one maybe? Yeah. It's basically the same. Giving yourself a deadline? Dude, nice. Min, you used some Wacom? Hell yeah, I used some Wacom. What do I need to do with this? Why can't I can't just view the image? That's great. Okay, we can zoom in. So you see that detail up here? Super crazy. It's very similar. Look up Spanish synagogue if you need help with like some details. So it looks just like this. I would suggest, oh man. So you really need that bounce light. And holy cow, pieces. I would highly suggest changing the song. I would highly suggest going away from detailing out these materials too much. As you can see in the reference, they're very it's pretty same colory. And then you've just got this trim pattern. So if you get that trim pattern maybe with like a reflective material. God damn it. Never land, guys. Okay. Yes, make these patterns here. Have a nice roughness. Wacom model doesn't matter, man. Wacom is Wacom. I've seen some really good art come out of people that are using like bamboos. I'm using a Touch 5, I think. But okay, so these details. Hopefully that answers your question, Drogo. These details here. Get those to pop. Get these to pop. This guy. These. Everything else is all about bounce light. If you can get a really basic material that kind of has that splotchy feel to it, and then concentrate on just these reflecting the light and like reflecting all those details, and then the light just GI bouncing as it goes down and fills the space. That's what you should concentrate on. And then this computer screen is really interesting because you can actually bring in a cold color with that. He grabs a stick of bamboo, makes sick art. And then these cables, because then you're telling a story, right? The other thing that you need to do is make a cylinder with an alpha of this pattern, and just get that pattern on there and around the beam of energy. Yeah, I think you do all that. So cables, unifying your materials. Getting some roughness, like metal reflectiveness going on so that this has stuff to play with, and that detail around it, a computer and the rest of these cables, maybe a little computer back there, and I think you'll be good. If you can, I think you can do that stuff rather quickly. You could use a 2D program to make these patterns where it's just running a mirroring as you draw patterns and just squiggle around. Because those are so far away, you just need to have an interesting pattern. It doesn't have to be like flawless or anything, just an interesting pattern that reads as a lot of detail. Light is dynamic now, hard to bake a tube like this, correct. Then you're going to have to place lights all around to try and get the same look for your bake. I think that's the only way to get that look. And try area lights maybe. Dynamic light is going to be difficult to sell with this though. But dude, this is I'm happy that you're doing this one because this is a challenge. This is like an actual like this pushes you. But yeah, computer elements, those little micro details, and then this one in the middle would probably be just a metal pattern that's black so that you just get the shape contrast against the beam of energy. Super cool though. It's coming along. Yeah, so you could do this dynamic like you're doing now and then just place lights that you need the bounce to go a little bit further. Use planes with full white material and aim bright spotlights at them. It creates bounce light. You can hide those planes and lights in game. Yes, that's how games are made. Oh man. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Remember, I will see you on Friday, not Thursday, like normal. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. Hopefully the format of today wasn't too hectic on you guys. It's like we cut and changed a couple times. Also, again, thank you for the dono. It means a lot to me. And Jungle Christ, thanks for the follow. Copan Bentito, thank you. And The Crazy Song. All right, guys. Later. Have a good tomorrow and the next day. Oh, one more thing, guys. If you really like this channel, try and spread the love somewhere. Twitter, Facebook, somewhere. Get me everywhere so that we can conquer the world. Have a good night, guys.